Hey guys, it's Thunderbug bringing you my Week 1 Team Builder and battle for Wpf Regirock Division against Kegmeister. Just run down his roster real quick here. He's got Landorus T, Ferrothorn, Haxorus, Jellicent, Infernape, Reuniclus, Raikou, Drapion, and Cryogonal. Haxorus and Infernape can use gems. The rest of his team can't. Just a couple quick notes that I saw when I was originally doing this team build is I do not like playing against Infernape. It either can just pretty much annihilate my entire team just with the stab moves alone, which is very scary. Haxorus wins the game if it's a +2, so I can't let it get the +2 on anybody. Or behind a sub and +1 can become problems as well. Landorus is kind of annoying, but it's probably gonna be his rocker because his only other rocker option is Ferrothorn, who is terrible here. Reuniclus is probably gonna have to be Trick Room 3 attacks. It can't really run the setup sets against me. Yeah. Oh, and Drapion, of course, can be kind of annoying for trapping Victini, so I have to kind of prepare for that as well. So let's just jump into what I'm bringing here. First things first, I'm bringing a dedicated lead Ninetales. Shukaberry for the item, Earthquake, something Landorus mainly, a couple other things too, Drapion, I guess, in theory, Infernape maybe. Well, Infernape really shouldn't be clicking Earthquake this game. Fire Blast for general damage, Will-O-Wisp because it could be nice and spammable against a team of his with heavy physical attackers. Roar was a last minute change. It was going to be Solar Beam, but I changed it to Roar because I realized that, if he goes like Haxorus and just like sub or DD on me, I can just roar it out and make it so it can't get the +2. Because HP Dragon, unfortunately, does not 2-hit KO Haxorus, neither would HP Ice, but I digress. And we went HP Dragon over HP Ice because I wanted the extra IV that HP Dragon provides for defense. The HP Ice has to be 30 IVs, HP Dragon can be 31. And that one defense maybe doesn't matter really a ton, but it just matters from some small little things, and small little things are the important details in the spread. So 323 speed allows me to outspeed non-Scarf Haxorus, and that's kind of the benchmark I hit most of my team around, was that 323 mark. Yeah, so 152 defense is good because it does a couple things. It means that, let's say it is Haxorus. I don't believe Haxorus can actually kill me at all if it's Scarf. Bandit obviously does with Outrage, but Scarf Outrage does not kill me, which means I can do some really solid chunk damage to it. Plus, I know it's Scarf, which means if I happen to get locked in a 3-turn Outrage, I can Revenge Kill Terrakion, and the Haxorus is gone for the game. And I will trade Ninetales for Haxorus any day of the week. If it's Bandit Haxorus, great. It still has to click Outrage to kill me. If it's DD Haxorus, it gets hit by HP Dragon, and then roared or whatnot, and we go from there. And basically, it's just a way, so it can be Haxorus lead, it can be Landorus lead. If it's Infernape lead, if it's Choice Band Close Combat, it can kill me 56% of the time. But Bandit Close Combat means that I can go Rotom and I can Volt Switch out for free on it and bring in Victini or Hydreigon or Rose for Spikes or whatever I want to do. So that just opens up a ton of opportunities for me there. But if it's not banded, Infernape cannot kill me on a lead, and Infernape gets big damage taken on it from Ninetales, or not big damage, but it gets a no-ray fire. It doesn't like Fire Blast at all. Yeah, what was I missing? Oh, and with this spread as well, let's say it's Scarf Infernape, and Scarf Landorus, and he U-turns, and then he goes into Infernape, and he tries to click Banded Flare Blitz. I live on 3 HP, which means I can do huge damage back to the Infernape, and I just really take away almost over half of Infernape's health just on one turn, and that's the biggest threat to my team. That's just a really nice utility way to just lure in and cause problems for his team. He really doesn't like Ninetales switch too much. Will-O-Wisp can annoy Jellicent, who isn't the greatest Victini answer in the first place, and just causes some general problems. So that's Ninetales. Hydreigon. So I'm running Mono Dragon move. Ferrothorn, like I said, I don't believe is coming. It's not good here. It actually loses to most Hydreigon sets anyway, so it's just a flamethrower. So I'm running Sub, Roost, and Taunt. What this set allows me to do is it allows me to beat fatter Jellicents and just slowly stall them out, PP stall them, especially if they're burned. It can allow me to sub up on some choice lock, any choice lock landers, which I don't think is going to be choice, probably. Probably has to bring defensive rocks, again, just because he has to bring a rocker for my Sun team. And Ferrothorn is not it here. And I can also take advantage of some other things. The Choppleberry might seem a little weird for a sub-roost set, but what it allows me to do is, if I need to, after one round of Stealth Rocks, I can live Abandoned Infernape Close Combat. and I can kill it with Dragon Pulse, or, well, it kills after I think it layers spikes or two. But yeah, so essentially it allows me to live an Infernape close combat from high health, which it wouldn't expect if it's banded. If it's not banded, it lives it even better, which is just great. And with this spread too, if let's say I burn the Drapion and it's choice band, and say it's choice band poison jab, it caps out at 24.7% or something like that. So I always live a substitute up and can just take advantage of the Drapion that way too. And it's just really good for what it needs to do. Taunt is good to stop like Trigger Me Uniclus, recover Jellicent. If he does bring Ferrothorn, he can't hazard on me, can't set up on me repeatedly. Just does some utility things I can do with Taunt, and then Roost Osteo Longevity. That's kind of Hydreigon. It's kind of like a late game win con plus alternative way to lure in and get rid of the biggest threat to my team, which is in fact Infernape. Next up is Scarf Terrakion. This is just here to revenge kill. It outspeeds and kills +1 Haxorus. It outspeeds Infernape even if it's Scarf and can kill it. Unfortunately, I can't afford to run Stealth Rocks because I need to not let Terrakion die for no reason. Close combat is generally good, but because Jellicent exists, I do have to bring Stone Edge for damage. It also hits Landorus better than close combat, obviously. Rock Slide for better accuracy, and if I need to just clean late game against a weakened team, Earthquake to help ease Infernape predictions, or if I really need to give Infernape or Jellicent to switch in. Yeah, so that's kind of Terrakion. It's really simple and straightforward. It's just Revenge Killer Terrakion. Victini, Cobra Berry is entirely for Drapion. V-Create, just for general damage. Volt Strike, 2 KOs any Jellicent variant, and causes just big damage, and is just a nice spammable move. Will-O-Wisp is good. Glaciate is pretty cool. What it does allows, let's say there's a situation where I bring in Victini, and he brings in Haxorus, and he goes, okay, my Haxorus can live this V-Create, so I'm going to try and DD in his face, and just try to outspeed his team and cause him problems. I click Glaciate, I do over half to the Haxorus with a Naive nature. Fortunately, I have to run Naive, I can't run Timid, as it will, Jolly, as it won't do over half to the Haxorus, and then it just allows it to revenge kill Victini anyways. But then, because the guaranteed speed drop of Glaciate, the Haxorus, even after the DD, is still slower than Victini, and then allows me to kill it. Now, obviously, if he comes in after a -1 V create from Victini, it's still going to outspeed me, but it still makes the Haxorus not fast, which means I can go in like Hydreigon and take advantage of it better than counting on Terrakion. And plus, it hits Landorus well on the Switch too. I don't have to deal with helmet garbage. I don't have to worry about that nonsense. And it's a safer click against things like potentially going hard into Scarf, Lando, or something like that. Yeah, but most of the time it's going to be clicking V-Create anyways. Volt Strike occasionally made for Jelly, and then the gimmick situation for Glaciate and Will-O-Wisp. The last two moves are kind of just filler because it doesn't really need them. I got another Cobra Berry here on Rotom, just standard defensive Rotom. Burn Drapion, then Victini can just go crazy with V-Create. Pain Split just to keep some health on if I need to. Volt Switch for momentum and bringing things in like Victini. Shadow Ball is simply there so I don't lose a sub Haxorus, because none of the other moves are good for Haxorus. Although I guess you can say if Ninetales is still alive, I can just Volt Switch out into Ninetales and then roar out the sub Haxorus, assuming it doesn't kill me immediately. And yeah, so I don't want Haxorus plant subs, I don't want Haxorus at +2. And Rotom can, that's the way Rotom can make sure that doesn't happen. And last but not least is Roserade. Like I said, his only spinner is Cryogonal, which is not very good against me, so Spikes is pretty good. And I can use Spikes and get 1 or 2 up. Sunspore can be thrown off occasionally, maybe try to catch a Haxorus trying to sneak in. Infernape, if it tries to sneak in, it'd be humongous. Landorus, HP Ice is better on Rose than it is on Ninetales. The little HP things don't matter as much, and it allows me to, like, and I can actually OHKO Landorus. That's another thing, too. Ninetales cannot OHKO Landorus HP Ice, so I just decided not to do it. And more likely, Infernape will switch in anyways, and HP Dragon does a little bit more than Infernape. So yeah, HP Ice here it can KO some uninvested Landorus, does a lot to bulkier Landorus's. Solar Beam, because I'm a Sun team, I'm able to just fire off Solar Beams pretty easy. Yeah, that's kind of Roserade. The HP spread allows me to take a Jellicent Scald plus a max attack Landorus Earthquake, and then I can still, again, I can do either kill the Landorus if it needs to, or do Solar Beam, or anything like that. The given speed tiers here, what is it for? Is it for Adamant Haxorus, I think? Yeah, it was Adamant Haxorus, which I don't think he's going to run, but just in case he tries to sneak in an Adamant Haxorus, I do outspeed Adamant Haxorus here. I do outspeed most Landoruses that are not max speed, it does in and outspeed some Drapions too. So that's kind of the team. Yeah. Overall, the gist of this team is kind of lead Ninetales. See if I can get some chip damage on something and get rid of one stats pretty quickly, and see what kind of goes from there. It'll be a fun game, and then let's just jump into the battle or whatever I decide to do here for that. Thank you. Alright, so looking at the battle, he brought Lando, Infernate, Jellicent, Haxorus, and then he brought Pharaoh and Krogno, which I didn't think either two would come, but that's a bit scary, because I didn't really do a whole lot of prep for Krogno, because I'm like, whatever, it's Krogno. I mean, I guess I didn't really have to prep, because I have Sun Recreate, which annihilates it. But yeah, so Ferrothorn could be a problem for Hydreigon, since it is Mono Dragon move, if it is like a Leftovers or Spadef variant. Maybe. Yeah, let's just get into the battle. Nothing deters me from leading my Ninetales lead, so I just do my Ninetales lead as I dedicate him to Teambuilder. Here he leads Haxorus. I just fire off HP Dragon, just the test damage, see what he wants to do. He clicks Dragon Claw. Dragon Gem activates. I live. I think because my investment, maybe I'm wrong. I tried to use Will-O-Wisp here in case he tried to go Jellicent on me, so I can just burn it and annoy it. Fortunately, he went Ape, which means I lose Ninetales. I don't get to know if it's Scarf or Banded Ape, and then I get Victini, and I get to click a big Bolt Strike here, which is great. So, with the Jellicent here at 41%, he knows I am max attack Victini, and he knows I'm not choice banned because it would have killed Jellicent. So, knowing those two pieces of information, he doesn't know if I'm Scarf, he doesn't know if I'm like some other weird item or what I am. So, but he's not going to sack Jellicent here, because sacking Jellicent is terrible when there's still a full health Terrakion on the back that can click close combat. If it's a Scarf Terrakion with close combat, he can recover and do all sorts of things, and Jellicent is just really good for checking Terrakion. So his two switch-ins are either Ferrothorn or Landorus, and my choices were either I can click Will-O-Wisp and catch one of them, which would be good, or I could do what I actually did and I clicked Glaciate. Because if I go Landorus like he did, I 2-hit KO Landorus here with Glaciate, which can eliminate Landorus entirely from the game. If you went Ferrothorn and I Glaciated, I need to click V-Create, because nothing on his team switches into V-Create at this point. So it was just an easy, free check. Get rid of Landorus, big deal. And here is where I made a terrible play or not terrible play, but a terrible mistake that nearly wound up costing me in the end. We'll kind of go over this more as it goes along, but from this damage here, when I went to the calc and I went into Rotom, and then I put in just the standard Band-Aid, I went, okay, this is Band-Aid because of the damage. I did not put Sun on the calc, so I thought this was Band-Aid. If I would have put Sun on the calc, I would have realized, oh yeah, that's right. Bandit Sun Ape kills Rotom from full, and this is Scarf Ape. So I spend the entire game playing like this is Band-Aid, and that becomes a massive problem later on, but we'll get into that in a little bit here. So Rotom obviously is going to go down because he has no reason not to kill it. So that's the end of Rotom. I went Hydreigon here, just to fire off Dragon Pulse, see what his response was. He went Cryo, got a crit, did half, okay. I assume maybe he's going to recover. No, he clicked Toxic. Alright, so that's kind of annoying. Victini's on a timer, which probably wasn't good, because Victini can wreck a lot of his team. Fire off a free Recreate, because again, Jellicent is still low, and kill Krogno. Cool, so that's gone, and that's not a problem for Hydreigon anymore. One Hydreigon problem gone. He goes Haxorus, I go Rosary, which is pretty useless right now, and I can and he clicks Outrage, which he had to, because Dragon Claw does not necessarily get KO Roserade, especially with my investment, and it wouldn't if it was full. So he had to click Outrage, which means I get the Revenge Kill with Terrakion, which brings in Jellicent again. So Jellicent gets the recover on Scarf Close Combat. I get to go Hydreigon here, and here is where I get to reveal what my Hydreigon set actually is, and I click Sub. So here is where things can get interesting. So he goes back on the Jellicent as I click Taunt. So we have to see what the Jellicent does. Does it have Nightshade or does it not? And I click Dragon Pulse, and the Jellicent clicks Hex. So this is a big deal for two reasons. First of all, obviously he doesn't realize I don't have Flamethrower yet. He knows I have Sub, Taunt, and Dragon Pulse. He doesn't know if I have Flamethrower. He doesn't know what the last move is. But because he didn't click Nightshade here, that means that this Hydreigon infinitely sits on Jellicent. It doesn't have Ice Beam, it doesn't have Nightshade, it has Hex, Recover, a status move, either Will-O-Wisp or Toxic, and then the last could be, I don't know, maybe Scald, I don't know what it could be at this point. So I decided, okay, so at this point it's very clear that Hydreigon is very much the win con, excuse me. Because it can set up instantly on Jellicent, It can maybe beat Ferrothorn if we see what the item is, but we don't know yet. And here he goes, Ferrothorn. Dragon Pulse, test damage is 11%, and there's no leftovers. So is it Helmet? Is it Akaberry? What is it? Point is, it doesn't recover on me. So he clicks Gyro Ball. Okay, does good damage. Breaks sub. Gyro Balls again. He breaks the sub. I Roost, and he clicks Gyro Ball. Let's see what the damage does. It does 45. Okay. So at this point, his taunt wears off. I'm at 55 here. And he, again, Gyro Ball has 8 PP, so he's got 5 left. If I stall this Ferrothorn out of Gyro Balls, it can't touch Hydreigon either, and it becomes Setup Fodder. Because it's going to be Gyro Ball, Spikes, and then there's really not other much it can do. It's probably, what, Seeds Protect or something like that? So I click Sub, and he clicked Leech Seed, which means it lasts probably like Leech Seed, Sub, Leech Seed Protect, or whatever. I get the Roost up, and I burn another Gyro Ball PP. He's now down to 4 Gyro Balls. I'm at 80%. I taunt here. Gyro Balls. I was 49. Okay, who cares? I can roost all this. I roost, and I'm at 81. So here, I want to go track it. So again, I'm assuming it's Banded Infernape, and Banded Infernape, even with Choppleberry, does 69 to about 82% is the roll. With that roll, yes, I kill the Infernape, but I'm also so low that I can't sub up anymore, and the Jellicent and the Ferrothorn can beat me with either Leech Seed and just stalling me because he now knows my full set. I don't have Fire move, so he can Leech Seed with Ferrothorn freely, or if a Jellicent, he can click Toxic on me, and or just Hex, and it becomes a problem, and it becomes a whole 50-50 mess I don't want to deal with. But if I knew it was Scarf, I think it does like 54 max or something like that. So I could have stayed in, I could have killed it, and then I could have subbed up on Jellicent or roosted on Ferrothorn or whatever, and won the game kind of from there. But unfortunately, I have to sack Terrakion here, which isn't really the most useful at this point because the Jellicent's full. So Terrakion's dead, and this gives me a Victini for free. So I chose to click Will-O-Wisp because he's not staying in here, and unfortunately I missed the Jellicent. If I burn the Jellicent, it slowly chips it away, and if he went Ferrothorn trying to break Bolt Strike, then I burn that. That's great too. Click Bolt Strike here. And okay, so I decided he's going to try to play this switching game. I click Bolt Strike again, and I caught the Jellicent, did 60%. And once again here, I'm in a situation where he can either stay in with Jellicent, or he can go to Ferrothorn. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I win this game with Hydreigon by subbing up on Jellicent. So if the Jellicent here wants to recover or whatever, I don't really care. So I decided I'm going to click Will-O-Wisp. If I burn the Jellicent, great, I'm slowly chipping it. And if he recovers or kills me with Hex, extra great, I can just sub up with Hydreigon. And if he goes Ferrothorn, I can burn the Ferrothorn, which is huge, because a burned Ferrothorn does not break Hydreigon sub with Gyro Ball. He went Ferrothorn, I burned it, and Hydreigon sub does not break anymore from Gyro Ball. Huge move. I just clicked Glaciate because I didn't want to kill Jellicent, and I didn't want to kill Ferrothorn because I wanted sub Hydreigon up. I wanted to sub up so I can get a sub and a roost off and be safe from the Infernape close combat. I sub, he clicks Taunt. Okay. So I'm still behind a sub, and the Jellicent really doesn't do much to me. He went Ferrothorn. Okay. Because I have to click Dragon Pulse, and it's at 39. And then another one does another 12, does 12.5 for his burn. Gyro Ball doesn't break sub. Down to 14. Here's where things looked ugly, because again, I'm still under the impression it's Banded Ape, so I thought I lost here. Because the Ferrothorn was at 14, Dragon Pulse max roll is like 12.4, so he's going to be able to break the sub here at Gyro Ball, so I'm going to be exposed with Hydreigon to declare Infernape close combat, and the Ferrothorn will be dead. And because I have to attack the Ferrothorn here with Dragon and Pulse, and then it dies to burn. However, I get lucky and I get a crit, which is great because that eliminates that exchange there. And then here is another play where I need to explain. So, that was let it play out there. So I roosted. Let me explain why I roosted. Again, in my mind, still, it's Banded Infernape. Let's say it's U-turns here with Band-Ape on my sub, break sub, and I just kill the Jellicent with Dragon Pulse. Then I'm at 56%. I'm exposed to Infernape, and I die through Choppleberry. If I knew it was Scarf, and I could have just Dragon Pulsed and been fine. Yeah. But so that's why I roosted. I still was in the impression it was banded, and this secures me to not die to close combat from banded a Chocolate Berry unless he crits. And obviously the scarf, but he can make Mach Punch, so it doesn't even matter. You click Mach Punch again, does 16% with Chocolate Berry, and I kill the Infernape, and then I just get the taunt and kill the Jellicent because again its Hex is not doing anything, and I get the click Dragon Pulse. So that was kind of the play. If I knew a Scarfape, it'd probably been a little safer. I still may, even without the Ferrothorn crit, with it being Scarfape, I could have very much won. It depends on how rolls play out and everything, which is just a whole game that's not worth trying to guess and get into. So it was a really good game. I thought both of us played extremely well, and Percy was in a position to win the game. I thought I played really well early with Victini, and then I played well to get Hydreigon in for a win con. He played extremely well to get himself in a position where he could have won the game, potentially without the crit, and what information he had at the time, and maybe still could have won even if I didn't get the crit. So, good game. Look forward to seeing how the rest of the season plays out, and good to get a good Week 1 W.